What's up, homies? Welcome to another episode of the Homeys Real Estate Podcast. This is your host, Anthony.
I'm Angel.
I'm a realtor.
I'm a lender.
And hopefully together we can give you a good idea of what's happening in this crazy real estate market. We got a really good one for you. We're going to be going over 6 articles from Keeping Current Matters. Again, it's that real estate media and agency that reports on articles from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Zillow, just various real estate resources, puts it all together in a digestible form. And I picked 6 that are really important that I think are really necessary to cover to get an idea of where this real estate market is heading towards. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the podcast, homies. So the first one that I want to go over is mortgage rate predictions. Like, are mortgage rates going to increase? I know me and Angel have been talking about this, but how fast are they going to increase? What can we anticipate moving forward? So, Keeping Current Matters went ahead and compiled a list of Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and the National Association of Realtors, and what their projections are for mortgage rates moving forward. And for this quarter, so Q4 of 2021, the average of all 4 interest rates, all 4 organizations, their interest rate is 3.17%. Q1 of next year, so January through March, that's 3.32%. The next quarter, Q2, 3.45%. And then by the third quarter, that's 3.55%. So mortgage rates from now to then should raise by about 0.5%, if not more. And again, this is an average, right? Because Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, and National Association of Realtors do have a higher projection. They're projecting, closer to 3.6 to 3.8% by Q3 of next year. So it could fall, higher end of the spectrum by then. So Angel, what catches your attention about this projections?
Yeah, very interesting. You kind of mentioned it, and I don't know if they're going to be able to see the chart when this goes
Yes,
out.
Yeah, you can be able to see this chart.
Okay. Yeah, so on the chart you can see that Fannie Mae is what's really keeping the average low, right? Especially when you're talking about the second and third quarter of next year. Fannie Mae has it at 3.1%. Whereas the second lowest, and this is second quarter of 2022, second lowest is 3.5. What I can say on right now is that rates, are increasing right now as we speak, and Fannie Mae or conventional loans, Freddie Mac loans right now are in the high 2s, low 3s, right? So, in my opinion, I think Fannie Mae's is a little off already just based on where the rates are at today, right? I don't think rates are going to stay the same all the way through third quarter of 2022, and they're already at that 3.1% average right now. I would say somewhere, it all depends on several factors, but rates are somewhere in that range right now. So I think that means that it's only going to be going up from here, right? So very interesting to me that Fannie Mae has them so low, but I don't know if they'll go as high as some of these other people. The Mortgage Bankers Association saying 3.8%, and by third quarter of 2022, I don't think it'll go that high, but I do see the mid 3s definitely being where the rates will be at next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter whether you're Fannie Mae, whether you're Freddie Mac, or the other two. There's a common trend here. You're seeing that every quarter it's increasing. It doesn't matter which 4 of these organizations you are. So we are expecting mortgage rates to increase. And again, that's going to impact how much you're going to qualify for, right? Definitely. And I know we broke this down last podcast, but if interest rates do increase by about 0.5%, right, for let's just say a $700,000 home, that's going to increase your payment from 3% to 3.5% by over $200 a month, right? Principal and interest. Yeah. So that's really important that if you want to try to lock in a low interest rate and probably a lower monthly payment, that you start to look sooner than later. Angel, I want to go ahead and go over the second article from Keeping Current Matters. And this is going to be home price forecasts. Like, are homes going to get more expensive moving forward? And if so, how much more expensive? So when we look at the home price forecast, right? The same four, or I guess there's 5 organizations this time, right? So the Mortgage Bankers Association, Freddie Mac, HPES, Fannie Mae, and the National Association of Realtors all gave forecasts for what they think the appreciation is going to be, or I guess a home price increase or appreciation for all of 2022, right? And again, this is national data. So in California, it's going to be different than it's going to be in Arizona, then in Texas, right? But across the United States, we're projecting anywhere from 4.4% to 6.2% appreciation. National Association has it at 4.4%. The Mortgage Bankers Association has it at 6.2%, and the other 3 anywhere in between. And the average of all 5 is 5.2% appreciation. Angel, what catches your attention about this?
I mean, honestly, 5.2% appreciation. I think that's amazing. Still considering how much homes appreciated over the last year. I don't know exactly where we're at for the past year, but
18.1%.
See, exactly. Yeah. So that's astronomical, considering historically speaking, right? So the fact that we're still going to be keeping it, for forecast of over 5% appreciation, that's phenomenal appreciation. So, and then it kind of goes back to you FHA buyers out there, right? How I always get that question: how soon can I remove my mortgage insurance? So you're looking at it, 3.5 years, you can be removing that mortgage insurance, right? And nevertheless, phenomenal appreciation is what I can say. And what this should say more than anything is that the market isn't going to be slowing down anytime soon.
Absolutely. So historically, we've always heard 3.5% appreciation is pretty standard. I mean, since 2012, it's been over 3.5%. We've been, somewhere along the lines of 5 to 7% year over year for the most part, especially here in California, where the market tends to be a little bit stronger as opposed to the rest of the United States. So I want to go ahead and jump into our third article. And this is home equity gains. Like, how much equity did people gain over this past year? Because we all know prices went up quite a bit. We just said 18.1% year over year, according to CoreLogic. So when we look at the home equity gains over the past year, the average homeowner gained $51,500 in equity, right? That's a 29.3% increase in national homeowner equity year over year. So that's a ton more equity. And if you look at the chart here, the state that had the most equity gain was, you guessed it, California, where we're living right now. $116,000 gain in equity over the past year. Angel, what catches your attention?
I mean, phenomenal, right? So $116,000. That means literally if you bought your home 1 year ago and you sold it after fees and everything, you're probably walking home with about $90,000.
It depends on what
it depends on everything, of course, but that's crazy. So what this tells you more than anything is that if you buy in California, you're gonna appreciate at a higher level than pretty much every other state, right? There's not really much states that are in a similar appreciation market. Let's see. I think the other one, Idaho's a big one right now, right? It's a really popular state to buy in. And Washington. I don't even think in New York. I don't see New York was 32,000. Yeah. So yeah, I mean California's phenomenal appreciation. So for you homeowners, obviously you're probably listening. You're probably in California if you're listening to our podcast. So if you're gonna buy in California, you should expect the best of the best appreciation here.
Exactly, yeah. And there's a common trend here. You'll see that most of the appreciation tends to happen in the western states, right, including Hawaii. So that's a common trend. So if you're looking to invest property and you're looking for home appreciation and looking for home price growth, then you're going to be probably looking to the western side of the United States. With that said, I want to jump into our fourth article, and this is mortgage rates and how they tend to follow the 10-year treasury rate. And I think this is really important. It's a concept that if you're familiar with the treasury market, you know how this impacts the real estate market. But if you're following the treasury market, this is going to have a direct influence on mortgage rates, right? So when we look at the 10-year treasury from 1972 to what it is now in 2020, you can see that the 10-year treasury rate and the 30-year fixed rate mortgage are almost running parallel to one another, right? For that almost 40-year period. So, Angel, what catches your attention about this?
I mean, it's, to be honest, it's just, the treasury rate is just a direct effect with it, right? So something to, if you're hearing information about the treasury rate, it's something that should be in the back of your mind about mortgage rates, right? And that they're going to be moving in that same direction. But that's pretty much what I think that I have to say on that.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing that we're starting to see is that the treasury rate is starting to increase, right, as of September. And if we see it start to increase, you'll see interest rates starting to increase, which is why Angel can attest to this, that interest rates have gone up in the last couple of weeks. And if the 10-year treasury rate continues to go up as we project it to do so, then mortgage rates are going to continue to go up. So if you want to have a pretty good idea of where mortgage rates are heading, follow the 10-year treasury. It's going to give you a pretty good idea if history remains constant, and as it always usually does. All right, I want to go into our fifth article, which is the median down payment by age. And this is another important article and something that I really want to emphasize, because I think a lot of people have the misconception that you need to put 20% down to purchase, or it doesn't make sense if you put down 3.5% or 5% to get into your home, right? So when we look at the median down payment by age of home buyer, we'll see that of all buyers, the average is 12%, right? The younger you are, the smaller the down payment. And it makes sense, right? You don't have as much net worth yet. You don't have as much to put down yet. So the average down payment for a 20 to 30-year-old in that age gap, 6%. Yep, just 6%, right? And then increases by age group until you hit eventually 66 and higher, which is almost always 20% or more down. It makes sense because you have a lot more net worth. You can sell your home, take that equity, purchase a next home, and so forth. So, Angel, what catches your attention about this median down payment by age of home buyer?
Yeah, I mean, definitely stay away from that 20% mark, right? If you're that first-time home buyer, don't try to keep chasing or saving up for that 20%. It's honestly, it's really not worth it, right? It's better to, coming down with that, with in this case over 20 to 30 year age, 6% down. But obviously there's a 3.5% down FHA, 5% down conventional, right? These programs that are designed and really made for first-time home buyers to come in and have a low down payment, right? So take advantage of those opportunities. And then, we just went over appreciation earlier, so 5% every year. So you're gonna be making your money's worth on that 3.5% down investment that you're making on your home.
Yeah, exactly. So like we mentioned before, we're projecting at least 5% appreciation. It's been at least 5% since 2013. So if that 5% holds true, right, in 3 years, you should be in position, if you put 3.5% or 5% down, to have over 20% equity and then be able to refinance or remove that mortgage insurance and make your payment a lot more affordable. I think that makes more sense for people as opposed to waiting and trying to chase down appreciation and put more down to get that 20% down payment. So again,
and to kind of put that into perspective too, let's just say, and this is being modest in LA County, $500,000 home, right? 5%. If you're saving $25,000 each year, and you make $100,000 a year, that means 25% of your income is being saved, right? The chances of that happening is going to be really slim, right? So that's something to keep in mind. You're always going to be against appreciation. So you rather just come in with the low down payment than having to keep trying to save up to catch that 20% mark.
Exactly. That's a really good point. And again, you have to run the numbers, make sure the monthly payment is affordable for you, and if it makes sense, 100%, I recommend purchasing sooner than later. So I want to go into our 6th article, and that is home price appreciation over the next 5 years. Like, are prices expected to go up? We've already said they are, but how much? Like, what is the projections? So there's a survey from the Home Price Expectation Survey of 2021. It was just released last quarter, right? And we are projected over the next 5 years, so through 2025, to have a 31.8% home price increase, right? And this is considered the most agreed upon by this panel, right? So the most pessimistic is 16.5%, and then the most optimistic quartile is 46.6%. So we're going to stick to that 31.8% that a majority of people on the panel agreed upon. So if we take the average home price right now, which is about $350,000 nationally, right? And then you multiply that by 31.8% appreciation, that over that 5-year span, you should have about $111,000 in home price appreciation alone. So that's equity, and that doesn't even account for principal pay down or if you're collecting rent and so forth. So this is a lot of equity just based on home price appreciation. Angel, what catches your attention about this?
Yeah, I mean, if this doesn't make you excited, I don't know, right? As a homeowner, someone who's interested in being a homeowner, right? I think this is a great chart to look at if you're purchasing a home. And there's some people who are looking at homes and they're like, oh my goodness, like this home's small, or they're buying their starter home and they're getting discouraged. Like, get in a home, right? If you get in a home and you wait, 4 or 5 years, you're going to build so much equity that you're going to be able to use it and leverage it when you purchase your next home, right? So, this is the key, and this is the reason why we say, and kind of going back to the other topic, go, if you can do 3.5% FHA, go in and get that home and just let appreciation do what it does, right? And it's going to pay off. So anyone who's discouraged and you're looking at homes, or maybe for you people that have to drive out of Riverside, San Bernardino to buy your first home, doesn't mean you can in the future buy here in LA County, right, or Orange County. Use that appreciation in those counties or and wherever you purchase, and leverage it towards your next home, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, 31.8% increase over 5 years. So again, if you're going in with 3.5%, 5%, you can expect, according to the surveyors in this survey, a 31.8% increase over the next 5 years. So that's going to be more than enough to be able to refinance or remove that mortgage insurance. Now, I want to kind of put that in terms for people here in California, because you're like, 350,000, like we can't find that here, So I grabbed the median sales price in Los Angeles County, and I just rounded it, 750,000. If we multiply that by 31.8% appreciation over a 5-year span, that number ends up being $988,500. So in a 5-year span, you'll have an increase of about $238,500 of appreciation alone. That's a ton of money for people. So that just gives you an idea of how those numbers look here in California. Angel, so I kind of want to recap this all together real quick. But before I do so, is there anything specific you want to tell our homies about this that really caught your eye?
I just kind of said it right now, but I just really like to emphasize that, especially for your first time home buyers. Don't be discouraged just to come in, talk to, your realtor or lender, and see what money you need, right? It's going to be a lot less than what you expect. And then you can leverage that low down payment to better your future, right? To build a real estate portfolio, or to leverage that home to purchase your dream home, right? Just because you're purchasing one home doesn't mean that's your final home, right? So that's something to think about when you come into an appointment or when you're looking at real estate. Try to not only look at it as an investment, an emotional investment, but also a real estate investment, right? In the sense of, like, people get so emotionally involved in buying the home and they want everything to be perfect, but also think of it on a business end when you're looking, right? And how is it going to benefit your future?
Absolutely. That's a great point, Angel. I want to go ahead and quickly recap everything, and then I'll let you homies get back to your day. So quickly, first thing, mortgage rates are expected to increase. Doesn't matter where you're Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, MBA, NAR, they're going to increase at least 0.5% is what we're expecting. Now, home price appreciation through 2022, so we're projecting for next year, is about 5.2 across MBA, Freddie Mac, HPS, Fannie Mae, and National Association of Realtors. When we look at home equity gain over this past year, 51,500 is the average. In California, 116,000. When we look at the treasury rate, for the last 50 years, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage has followed the 10-year treasury rate. So if you want to have an idea of where mortgage rates are going, take a look at the 10-year treasury rate. The average median down payment for all home buyers is 12%. The younger you are, the smaller the down payment. It might make sense to go in with the smaller down payment and take advantage of that home appreciation. And then appreciation over the next 5 years is projected to be about 31.8% according to the Home Price Expectation Survey. So all in all, mortgage rates are increasing. We recommend putting a smaller down payment just to get into your home, take advantage of the home appreciation that we're anticipating having, and then use that to remove that mortgage insurance, make your payment a lot more affordable. With that said, thank you, homies, for joining us today. Angel, where can we find you?
At Your Mortgage Angel on Instagram.
At Your Mortgage Angel. You can find us at TheLuevanosGroup. With that said, I want to wish you all the best. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Hey homies, it's Anthony. This podcast contains my opinions and is for educational purposes only. It does not guarantee any projections and should not serve as a basis for any purchase or sale in real estate.